Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today with a message of unwavering hope, of divine justice, and of the unstoppable plan of Almighty God. Many of you have faced rejection. Many of you have felt the sting of betrayal. Some have been ridiculed, despised, and cast aside by those who did not see your worth. You have walked through valleys of sorrow, wondering why the world seems to turn its back on you. But I tell you today, God has not forgotten you. The one who created the heavens and the earth, the one who spoke the stars into existence, he sees your pain, and he is already at work. The whispers of doubt that tell you that you are unworthy, the voices that mock you and tell you that you will never amount to anything, those voices are lies. They are not the voice of God. For the word of the Lord declares that he lifts up the lowly. He exalts those who have been humble, and he prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Do you hear that, my friends? The very ones who scorned you, the very ones who belittled you, who said you would never make it, God will make them witnesses of your victory. They will see what the Lord has done in your life, and they will regret every word they spoke against you. The story of Joseph in the Bible is a perfect example. His own brothers despised him. They threw him into a pit, sold him into slavery, and left him for dead. But what they intended for harm, God turned into something good. Joseph rose from the pit to the palace. He became second in command over all of Egypt. And in the end, the very brothers who betrayed him had to come before him humbled and in need of his help. That is the power of God's plan. That is the faithfulness of our Lord. And just as it was in the days of Joseph, so it is today. Some of you have been mistreated. Some of you have been falsely accused. Some of you have been overlooked, abandoned, and rejected. But I tell you, do not despair, for God's plan is already in motion. He is working behind the scenes, aligning everything for your breakthrough. What the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for your good. The door that was slammed in your face was not a denial. It was a redirection. The people who walked away from you were not your destiny. They were simply a chapter in your testimony. Hold your head high, for the Lord has declared that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. It doesn't say the weapon won't form. It doesn't say people won't rise against you. But it does say that it shall not prosper. God has placed his hand upon you, and nothing, no power of darkness, no scheme of man can stop his plan for your life. The enemy thought he had you down, but he didn't realize that when a child of God falls, they don't stay down. They rise again. And so, my friends, be encouraged. Do not seek revenge. Do not waste your energy proving yourself to those who doubted you. Instead, fix your eyes on the Lord. Keep your heart pure. Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Because when God's plan unfolds, you won't have to say a word. Your success, your restoration, your victory will speak for itself. Those who despised you will regret it, not because you sought to make them regret it, but because they will see that they were fighting against the hand of God. My dear friends, I want you to know that delay is not denial. Just because your breakthrough hasn't come yet does not mean it's not coming. Abraham and Sarah waited years for the fulfillment of God's promise. David was anointed king long before he ever sat on the throne. Even Jesus himself endured rejection before his glory was revealed. But in every case, God's plan prevailed. His promises never fail. And what he has spoken over your life will come to pass. So stand firm, lift your voice in praise even before you see the breakthrough. Worship the Lord as if the miracle has already happened, because in the realm of heaven, it has. The moment God speaks it, it is done. It may take time to manifest in the natural, but it is already accomplished in the spiritual. And no force on earth can stop what God has ordained for your life. My friends, I urge you today, do not be discouraged. Do not be weary in well-doing, for in due season you will reap if you do not faint. The world may overlook you, but God has chosen you. People may reject you, but God has called you. And if God be for you, who can be against you? You see, the enemy thought he had won when he caused people to despise you. He thought that by turning hearts against you, by closing doors in your face, by making others mock you and belittle you, that he had successfully buried your destiny. But what the enemy does not understand is that every setback is a setup for a comeback. What he meant for your harm, God is using to prepare you for greater things. Think about David. He was just a shepherd boy, overlooked even by his own father. When the prophet Samuel came looking for the next king, David wasn't even invited to the lineup. His father saw him as insignificant. His brothers mocked him when he came to the battlefield, but God had already chosen him. When others despised him, God anointed him. And when the time was right, the very people who doubted him had to recognize that God's hand was upon his life. My friends, there are people who have looked down on you. They have laughed at you, ignored you, pushed you aside. Some have even gone out of their way to block your opportunities, to make sure you don't succeed. But what they don't realize is that they are not in control of your destiny. No human being can override the plan of God. No amount of jealousy, no amount of plotting, no amount of betrayal can stop what God has set in motion. I tell you today, hold your peace and trust in the Lord. The same God who raised Joseph from the pit to the palace, the same God who took David from the pasture to the throne, the same God who lifted Esther from an orphan girl to a queen, that same God is moving in your life. You may not see it yet, but trust that it is happening. Every rejection, every disappointment, every heartbreak is setting the stage for your elevation. Do not let bitterness take root in your heart. Do not allow the actions of others to make you lose faith in the goodness of God, because if you remain steadfast, if you continue to walk in righteousness, if you do not give up, there will come a day when those who despised you will look back and regret it, not because you sought revenge, not because you held on to resentment, but because they will see with their own eyes that they misjudge you. They will see that the one they overlooked was actually chosen by God. Let me tell you, my friends, the world may measure success by wealth, by popularity, by power, but God measures it by faithfulness, by obedience, by a heart that seeks after him. And when you stay true to God, when you continue to trust him despite the opposition, he will raise you up in such a way that no one will be able to deny his hand upon your life. It may not happen overnight. It may not happen in the way you expect, but it will happen. The same people who laughed at you will be silenced by your testimony. The same people who doubted you will stand in awe at what God has done. And the same people who tried to hold you back will realize that they were never in control to begin with. So I urge you today, my friends, do not waste your time trying to prove yourself to those who despised you. Do not waste your energy seeking validation from people who never saw your worth. Instead, fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith. Keep your hands to the plow and do not look back, because where God is taking you, you won't have to explain yourself. The evidence of his blessing, the evidence of his favor, the evidence of his mighty power will speak for itself. The enemy may have counted you out. People may have written you off, but they forgot one thing. You serve a God who specializes in turning things around. You serve a God who lifts the humble and brings down the proud. You serve a God who makes a way where there seems to be no way. So do not fear, do not doubt, do not be discouraged, because God's plan is already in motion. The very thing that was meant to destroy you is the very thing that will elevate you. The very people who mocked you will be witnesses to your miracle. And when all is said and done, you will stand and testify that it was only by the grace of God that you made it through. And I tell you this, my friends, when God lifts you up, no one can bring you down. When he opens a door, no one can shut it. When he declares a blessing over your life, no human hand can revoke it. The world may try, the enemy may scheme, people may gather against you, but it will all be in vain. For the word of God says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. Some of you are in a season right now where it feels like you are being pressed on every side. People have talked about you, they have mocked your dreams, they have dismissed your calling. But I want you to know that the pressure you are feeling is not meant to break you. It is meant to make you, just like gold is refined in the fire, just like diamonds are formed under pressure. Your trials are preparing you for greater things. Look at Job. He was a man who feared God, a man of integrity, a man who walked righteously. But what happened? He lost everything. His wealth, his health, his family, everything was stripped away. And to make matters worse, the very people who should have encouraged him, the very people who should have stood by him, began to question him. They accused him. They looked down on him. They assumed that his suffering was a sign of God's disapproval. But what they didn't know was that Job's suffering was only temporary. What they didn't know was that God had a plan all along. And in the end, God restored Job, giving him double for everything he lost. The very people who looked down on him had to watch as God elevated him once more. I say to you today, your suffering is not the end of your story. Your rejection is not the final chapter. Those who have written you off will have to rewrite their words when they see what God is about to do in your life. Maybe you've been waiting for a long time. Maybe you've prayed and prayed and it seems like nothing is happening. Maybe you've wondered, Lord, do you see me? Do you hear me? Oh, my friends, I tell you, he sees you, he hears you, and he has not forgotten you. The Bible tells us about a woman named Hannah. She was barren for years. She longed for a child, but it seemed like God had closed her womb. And to make matters worse, she had an adversary, a woman who mocked her, ridiculed her, made her feel worthless. Some of you know what that feels like. Some of you have had people taunt you because of your struggles, because of your delay, because of your pain. But Hannah did not give up. She went before the Lord in prayer. She poured out her soul to him. And in due time, God answered her. He gave her a son, Samuel, who became one of the greatest prophets in Israel. And I want to tell you today, God will answer you too. He has heard your cries. He has seen your tears. And in due season, he will lift you up. Let me tell you something, my friends. When God decides to bless you, he will not consult your enemy. When he decides to elevate you, he will not ask for permission from those who despised you. He does not need the approval of man to fulfill his plan in your life. And when that day comes, oh, when that day comes, there will be no doubt that it was the hand of God that did it. The same people who rejected you will have to watch as he prepares a table before you. The same ones who laughed at your struggle will see the glory of your triumph. And some of them, my friends, will regret ever despising you. Not because of anything you did, but because they will see that they were standing against the very will of God. I tell you this, do not worry about your enemies. Do not be distracted by their words. Do not waste time trying to explain yourself or prove your worth. Instead, focus on what God is doing in your life. Stay faithful, keep trusting, keep believing, because what he has spoken over you will come to pass. And I declare to you today, my friends, when the Lord lifts you up, no man will be able to take credit for it. No one will be able to say, I made them successful. No one will be able to say, it was because of me that they rose. Because when God moves, he moves in such a way that his glory alone is revealed. He will do it in a way that leaves no room for doubt it was him. So don't be discouraged when people refuse to help you. Don't be disheartened when doors close. Don't be troubled when those you trusted turn their backs on you. Because the same God who made a way for Moses through the Red Sea, the same God who made a way for Daniel in the lion's den, the same God who raised Lazarus from the dead, he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He does not change. His power has not diminished. His love for you has not faded, and his plan for your life is still unfolding. I want you to hear me today. Every trial, every hardship, every moment of rejection is part of the process. It may not feel good now. It may not make sense now. But in time, you will see why God allowed it. You will see why he let certain people walk away. You will see why he allowed certain doors to shut. Because what he has in store for you is greater than anything you have lost. Think of Joseph once again. His brothers betrayed him, his master's wife falsely accused him, and he was thrown into prison for a crime he did not commit. But in the end, the very things that seemed like setbacks were actually stepping stones to his destiny. Had he not been sold into slavery, he would not have ended up in Egypt. Had he not been falsely accused, he would not have gone to prison. Had he not gone to prison, he would not have met the man who would later connect him to Pharaoh. And had he not met Pharaoh, he would not have been placed in a position to save an entire nation, including the very brothers who once despised him. Do you see what I'm saying? The hand of God was upon him the entire time. Even when it looked like he was losing, he was actually winning. Even when it looked like he was forgotten, he was actually being prepared. And when the time was right, God lifted him up in such a way that no one could deny his power. And I tell you today, that same God is working in your life. You may not see it yet, but he is setting things in motion. He is aligning the right people, positioning you in the right place. You won't have to force it. You won't have to manipulate it. It will happen by the divine hand of God. But hear me, my friends. When that day comes, do not hold on to resentment. Do not hold on to bitterness. When Joseph saw his brothers again, he did not seek revenge. He did not make them suffer for what they did to him. Instead, he looked at them and said, "What you meant for evil, God meant for good." Oh, what a powerful truth. The very thing that was meant to break you is the very thing that God will use to bless you. The very rejection that hurt you is the very thing that will lead you into your destiny. So do not let unforgiveness keep you bound. Do not let bitterness block your blessing. Let it go and trust that God is working all things for your good. And I declare to you today, those who despised you will regret it, not because you wish them harm, not because you seek revenge, but because they will see that they misjudged you. They will see that they were fighting against the plan of God. And they will have no choice but to acknowledge that the hand of the Lord was upon you all along. So keep pressing forward, keep believing, keep standing firm, because your story is not over. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead of you. And when it is all said and done, you will testify of the goodness of God. You will declare, "If it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be?" And the world will see beyond a shadow of a doubt that your life was guided by the mighty hand of God. My friends, hear me today. When God is for you, it does not matter who is against you. It does not matter who speaks against you. It does not matter who tries to stop you. The will of God cannot be overturned by the opinions of men. Some of you have been fighting battles in secret. Some of you have been weeping behind closed doors, wondering if your prayers are even being heard. You have carried the weight of rejection, the sting of betrayal, the burden of being overlooked. But I tell you this, your suffering has not been in vain. Every tear you have cried, every pain you have endured, every moment of despair, it has all been preparing you for what is to come. You see, God often hides his chosen ones before he reveals them. Look at Moses. He spent 40 years in the wilderness before God called him to lead Israel. Look at David. He spent years tending sheep before he ever wore a crown. Look at Jesus. He spent 30 years in obscurity before he stepped into his divine mission. Why? Because preparation always comes before elevation. And right now, God is preparing some of you for something greater than you could ever. The people who despised you, the ones who rejected you, the ones who cast you aside, they thought they were burying you. But what they didn't realize is that they were planting you. And when the time is right, you will rise. Let me say this. Sometimes rejection is God's protection. Sometimes the very thing that hurt you the most is the very thing that saved you. That relationship that didn't work out, that job you didn't get, that opportunity that fell through, you may have seen it as a setback, but God was protecting you from something you couldn't see. Because when God elevates you, he does not want you surrounded by the wrong people. He does not want you in places that will drain you. He does not want you to be dependent on anyone but him. So if people walked away, if doors closed, if things didn't go the way you expected, Trust that God knows what He's doing. And when the time comes, the very people who doubted you will see what God has done in your life. They will witness the evidence of His favor, and they will regret ever underestimating you. Not because you sought revenge, not because you held on to bitterness, but because they will realize that they were standing against the hand of God. Look at Jesus. The very people who rejected Him, who mocked Him, who nailed Him to a cross, 3 days later they saw the empty tomb. They realized that they had crucified the Son of God. And the same people who despised Him had no choice but to acknowledge His glory. And I declare today, the same will happen in your life. Those who spoke against you will see the truth. Those who cast you aside will witness your elevation. And those who tried to stop you will realize that they were never in control to begin with. So stand firm in your faith. Keep your eyes on the Lord. Do not be moved by the opinions of men, because men do not hold your destiny. God does. And what He has promised you will come to pass. My friends, do not grow weary in well-doing. Do not let discouragement take root in your heart. The road may be long, the trials may be many, and the opposition may still overwhelming, but I assure you, God is still on the throne. He is still working. He is still moving. The enemy wants you to believe that your suffering is pointless. He wants you to believe that your pain has no purpose. But I am here to tell you today, your pain is producing something. Your trials are shaping you. Your struggles are strengthening you. Every battle you have faced, every rejection you have endured, every moment of being overlooked, it has all been part of the process. Let me tell you something. Before God blesses you openly, He refines you privately. Before He exalts you, He humbles you. Before He entrusts you with the promise, He prepares you for the weight of it. Because a blessing too soon is not a blessing at all. It is a burden. You see, some of you have been in a hidden season. You have felt forgotten. You have felt abandoned. You have wondered why things haven't happened yet. But I tell you today, delay is not denial. Just because you don't see it yet does not mean it isn't coming. Look at Noah. He built the ark for years with no sign of rain. Look at Abraham. He waited decades for the promised son. Look at Joseph. He spent years in prison before stepping into his destiny. What does that tell you? It tells you that God moves in His own time. And when the time is right, nothing and no one can stop what He has planned. So do not rush the process. Do not force what God has not yet released, because when the appointed time comes, the doors that were once shut will fly open. The opportunities that seemed out of reach will be placed in your hands. The people who despised you will have no choice but to witness what God has done. Some of them will regret how they treated you. Some of them will wish they had supported you. Some of them will come back not to help you, but to receive from you, because they will see that God has placed something great upon your life. But hear me, when that day comes, remain humble. Do not let success change your character. Do not allow elevation to harden your heart. Because it is not by your strength, not by your wisdom, not by your own power that these things will come to pass. It is by the mighty hand of God. And I tell you this, if God be for you, who can be against you? If He has called you, no one can cancel it. If He has anointed you, no one can strip it away. His plan is greater, His timing is perfect, and His promise will never fail. So hold on, my friends. Keep believing, keep pressing forward, because your time is coming. Your breakthrough is near. Your story is not over. And when it is all said and done, you will stand and declare, look at what the Lord has done. My friends, I need you to hear me today. When the Lord moves, He does it in such a way that no one can deny it was Him. He does it in a way that silences every critic, that humbles every mocker, that leaves your enemies in awe. He is not a man that He should lie. If He said He would do it, then it is already in motion. Some of you have been waiting for years. You have prayed, you have fasted, you have held on to faith, even when everything around you seemed to crumble. And I want to tell you today, your waiting has not been in vain. Your faith has not been wasted. God has seen every moment of your struggle, and He has not forgotten you. There are some who looked at you and thought you wouldn't make it. They saw your hardship, they saw your battles, and they assumed that you were finished. But what they didn't realize is that the hand of God has been on you this whole time. What they didn't know is that the same God who allowed Joseph to be thrown into a pit was the same God who placed him in the palace. Oh, my friends, do you understand? The pit is not the end. The prison is not the final chapter. The rejection is not your destiny, because when the time comes, God will elevate you in a way that no man can take credit for. Some of the very people who look down on you will have to acknowledge the favor on your life. Some of the same ones who doubted you will have to admit they were wrong. And I tell you this not because we take joy in their regret, not because we wish harm on anyone, but because it will serve as a testimony to the greatness of our God. For when God lifts you up, it is not just for you. It is not just for you. It is for that others may see his power. When he blesses you, it is so that his name may be praised. So I urge you, do not grow weary. Do not let bitterness take root in your heart. Do not waste your energy trying to prove yourself to those who have rejected you. Your success is not in their hands. Your future is not dependent on their approval. Instead, keep your eyes on the Lord. Keep your trust in him, because what he is about to do in your life will not just be a blessing, it will be a testimony. It will be evidence of his faithfulness, proof of his promises, a witness to the world that he is still in control. And when it is all said and done, you will look back and understand why things had to happen the way they did. You will see that every setback was a setup, every rejection was a redirection, every trial was training for the triumph that was coming your way. So hold on, keep standing, keep believing, because the very ones who despised you, the very ones who looked down on you, will soon see what the Lord has done, and they will have no choice but to acknowledge it was God all along. My friends, the truth is, sometimes the road to your destiny feels like an uphill battle. You may feel exhausted from the struggle. You may feel like you've given all that you have, yet it seems like you're still stuck in the same place. But I want to remind you today, don't be discouraged by the delay. Don't be discouraged by the opposition. Don't be discouraged by the mocking and the rejection. Your breakthrough is coming. The harvest is on the way. God does not overlook the pain and the effort you have put in. He does not turn a blind eye to your faithfulness. In fact, he sees every tear you've cried. He knows every sleepless night. He knows every heartache and disappointment. And he is a God who rewards those who faithfully endure. Remember, the Bible says those who sow in tears will reap with joy. And I tell you today, your joy is coming. Your harvest is coming. What you have planted in faith and perseverance will be returned to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. But let me tell you something else. The Lord will not only bless you for your faithfulness, he will bless you in a way that no one else can take credit for. When he lifts you up, it will be so evident that it was his hand at work. Your enemies will look on in astonishment and regret, ever doubting the plan God had for your life. Take heart, my friends. Take courage in the truth that God's timing is perfect. You might have tried to force things in your own strength, but it never works that way. God is not interested in a quick fix. He's not interested in rushing the process. He is interested in shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for the greatness he has in store. And when the time comes, when he opens that door, when he brings the breakthrough, you won't have to force it. You won't have to chase it. It will come to you. The very things that seemed out of reach, the things that once seemed impossible, will come into your hands. Because God will make a way where there seems to be no way. Your waiting will turn into rejoicing. Your pain will turn into peace. Your struggle will turn into strength. And those who despised you, those who rejected you, will see that the same God who was with you in the valley. Do not allow your heart to grow cold toward those who have wronged you. Do not let bitterness settle in. As much as they have hurt you, as much as they have wronged you, you must forgive. Because forgiveness opens the door to freedom. It sets your heart free from the chains of resentment and allows God to bless you in ways you cannot even imagine. And let me tell you, when the time comes, when the glory of God is revealed in your life, it will not be for you to boast. It will be a testimony of his goodness and his mercy. And you will be able to look at those who once despised you and say, I did not get here on my own. It was God who made a way for me. It was God who lifted me up. The people who rejected you, the people who mocked you, the people who doubted you, they will see that God's plan for your life was always bigger than their rejection. It will be undeniable that you are walking in the favor of God. And some of them, my friends, will regret ever turning their backs on you. But when they come to you, do not hold it against them. Do not take pleasure in their regret. Instead, forgive them as Christ forgave you. For the glory of God will shine brighter in your life when you walk in love and mercy, even toward those who have wronged you. My friends, there's a reason why God allows the valleys. There's a reason why he permits us to experience the dark days. It's not because he's punishing us. It's not because he enjoys watching us suffer. No, God's love for us is unwavering, and his heart breaks with ours in our pain. But he allows these times because they are part of the refining process. They are part of the preparation. He allows the tests so that we may be made stronger. He allows the pain so that we may grow in faith. In the quiet, in the hidden seasons, God is working behind the scenes. You may not see it, you may not feel it, but I assure you, he is working. He is aligning things. He is opening doors that no man can shut. He is shifting circumstances. And when the time is right, when you are ready, he will open those doors and nothing will be able to stand in your way. Let me remind you of the story of Esther. Esther, a young Jewish woman, was raised in exile in a foreign land. She had no status, she had no power, but God had a plan for her life, and when the moment came, he positioned her in the king's palace to save an entire nation. It didn't make sense. She wasn't in the right family. She didn't have the right connections. But God positioned her in the right place at the right time, and he used her to accomplish his purpose. And I tell you today, your life, your story, your struggles, they all matter. You may not see it right now, but God is positioning you. He is placing you in the right place at the right time. And when the moment comes, he will use you in ways you never imagined. The people who despised you, the ones who doubted you, they will see that God's plan was always bigger than their rejection. They will see that what they thought was a setback in your life was actually a setup for your destiny. God's ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. He is always working on our behalf, even when we don't understand, even when we can't see the full picture. We can trust that he is guiding us. He is leading us. And nothing can thwart his plan. You may have faced setbacks, but let me tell you, those setbacks were those closed doors, those moments of rejection, those times when people looked at you and thought you would never make it. Those were the moments when God was refining you. He was preparing you for greater things. He was strengthening your character. He was building your resilience. Because the truth is, there are certain things you can only learn in the valley. There are certain things you can only learn in the struggle. And God knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what you need to face in order to be the person he created you to be. And when the time comes, when the harvest is ready, when the doors open, the world will see the evidence of what God has done in your life. Your story will be a testimony to his faithfulness, to his power, to his goodness. And those who despised you, those who thought you would never make it, will see that you are always in the hands of a faithful God. They will regret doubting you, but they will not regret seeing God's glory on display. They will know that it was not by your strength, not by your wisdom, not by your own power, but by the hand of God that you have been elevated. So stand firm. Keep moving forward. Don't let the rejection stop you. Don't let the doubts of others hold you back. Your story is not over. Your breakthrough is near. And when God lifts you up, he will do it in a way that will leave no doubt that it was him all along. And one day, those who despised you, those who walked away, those who told you that you would never make it, they will see that the plan of God was always bigger than their opinions. They will regret not believing in you. But when they see what God has done in your life, they will have to acknowledge that He is the one who made it all possible. My friends, I want you to hear me loud and clear. When God says yes, no man can say no. When He decides to elevate you, no enemy can stop it. When He declares a blessing over your life, no opposition, no rejection, no betrayal can stand in the way. What He has spoken will come to pass. Some of you have been feeling like you've been running in circles. You've been feeling like no matter how hard you try, things just don't seem to work out. You've watched other people get ahead. You've seen others receive opportunities while you have been left waiting. And you've started to wonder, Lord, have you forgotten me? Have you abandoned me? But let me remind you today, God has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. His timing is perfect and His ways are higher than ours. And when He moves, it will not be small. It will not be ordinary. It will not be something that man can explain away. No, when God moves, it will be supernatural. He will do things in such a way that no one can take credit but Him. He will bless you in ways that leave people in awe. He will lift you up in a way that makes it clear it was not by your own strength, not by your own connections, not by your own efforts, but by His mighty hand. And those who look down on you, those who wrote you off, those who rejected you, they will see it. They will witness it. And many of them will regret how they treated you. But hear me, my friends. Your response in that moment is just as important as your endurance in the trial. Because when God lifts you up, He does not do it so that you can boast. He does not do it so that you can look down on those who once despised you. He does it for His glory. So when that day comes, do not carry bitterness in your heart. Do not let the success change your spirit. Do not allow pride to take root. Instead, walk in love, walk in forgiveness, walk in humility. Because God is not only interested in elevating you, He is interested in refining your character so that you may reflect His love and His grace. Now let me tell you something else. There are some people who rejected you. Not because they were evil, but because they simply could not see what God was doing in you. They could not recognize the anointing on your life. They could not see the greatness that God had placed inside of you. But that is okay, because God did not call them to see it. When David was anointed as king, his own father did not even call him from the field. His own family did not recognize the calling on his life, but that did not stop God's plan. When Joseph had dreams of greatness, his own brothers rejected him, threw him into a pit, and sold him into slavery. But that did not stop God's plan. When Jesus came to His own people, many did not believe in Him. Many mocked Him. Many rejected Him. But that did not stop God's plan. And I tell you today, what God has planned for your life, no rejection can stop it. No betrayal can cancel it. No opposition can overturn it. His plan is already in motion, so hold on, keep trusting, keep believing, because soon the very ones who thought you would fail, the very ones who spoke against you, the very ones who turned their backs on you, they will see what God has done. And they will have no choice but to acknowledge His power, His favor, and His faithfulness over your life. And on that day you will not stand in arrogance, you will not stand in pride, but you will stand with a heart full of gratitude, lifting your hands to heaven and saying, look at what the Lord has done. My friends, as we continue this journey together, I want you to remember one important truth. God's plan is always bigger than any momentary setback. Sometimes in the midst of our struggles, it feels like everything is falling apart. It feels like we are standing on shaky ground and the winds of adversity are blowing harder than we can withstand. But I am here to remind you today, those winds are not here to destroy you. They are here to propel you. When God allows the storms in your life, He is not punishing you. No, He is using those very storms to prepare you for the great things that lie ahead. Just as a tree grows stronger in the wind, so do you grow stronger through your trials. Just as gold is refined in the fire, so are you refined in the challenges you face. So if you're going through a tough season right now, don't be discouraged. Your pain is not permanent. Your struggles are not forever. The breakthrough that is coming for you is closer than you think, and those very things that tried to break you will be the things that build you up and elevate you. God is in control of the process. He is working behind the scenes, even when you cannot see it. He is shaping you. He is molding you. He is preparing you for a future that is far beyond what you could ever dream or imagine. Some of you have been praying for breakthrough, and you have not yet seen the answer. You have been sowing seeds of faith, and it feels like the ground has been dry. But remember this, even the seasons of dryness have purpose. When a farmer plants a seed, he does not expect to see the harvest immediately. He waits patiently, knowing that the seed must first be buried, must first grow in the unseen soil before it can bear fruit. And just like that, God is cultivating something deep inside of you. You may not see the growth, you may not feel the change, but trust that it is happening. God is moving, and He is preparing you for the harvest that is coming. You will not be overlooked. Your breakthrough is on its way. The harvest of your faith is coming, and it will be abundant, more than you can imagine. The rejection, the betrayal, the hardship, none of it is in vain. They are part of God's perfect plan for your life. The very people who rejected you, the very circumstances that tried to hold you back, they are not the final word over your life. God's word is the final authority. His promises will come to pass. The Apostle Paul said in Romans 8:28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." That is a powerful promise. It means that no matter what comes your way, God is working it out for your good. Even in the moments when you can't see how it's all going to work together, trust that He's working in ways that you cannot yet understand. And here's something that will change your perspective. When you trust God in the waiting, when you hold on in the midst of the storms, when you refuse to give up despite the setbacks, there is a reward coming. The faithfulness you have shown in the secret places, the perseverance you've displayed in the unseen moments, will be rewarded in due time. God will honor your faith, and He will bless you abundantly. So don't allow your current circumstances to dictate your future. Don't let the rejection of others determine your worth. Don't let the disappointments of yesterday cloud your vision for tomorrow. Your destiny is not in the hands of those who despised you. It is in the hands of the Almighty God. And I promise you, when He opens that door for you, no man can shut it. When He pours out His favor on your life, it will be undeniable. The people who thought they had the final say in your life will see that they were never in control to begin with. They will see that the plan God has for you was greater than any rejection, any mockery, any failure. They will see that you were always in His hands. But when that day comes, do not stand in pride. Do not seek revenge. Instead, stand in humility, knowing that it is by God's grace that you are where you are. Stand in gratitude, acknowledging that He is the one who has brought you through. And when those who once despised you come back, not to harm you, but to acknowledge what God has done in your life, forgive them. Forgiveness is powerful, my friends. It releases you from the chains of bitterness. It frees your heart to fully experience the joy that God has for you. It opens the door for even greater blessings to flow into your life. So forgive, release, and watch God do wonders in your life. My friends, one of the most powerful things that we can do in the midst of our trials is to hold on to hope. Hope is the anchor for our souls. It keeps us grounded in the midst of the storm. It reminds us that no matter how fierce the winds of life may blow, we are not alone. We serve a God who is with us through every trial, through every difficulty, through every valley, and that hope is not just wishful thinking. It is a confident expectation that God will fulfill His promises in our lives. You may be facing a season right now that seems unbearable. You may feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and the future looks uncertain. But I want to remind you of something. God is never unaware of your struggles. He is always present, and He is always working, even when you can't see it. Remember the story of Job. Job lost everything, his wealth, his health, and even his family. He was mocked and ridiculed by his friends. Yet in the middle of it all, Job never lost his faith in God. He cried out to God. He questioned God, but he never stopped trusting God. And in the end, God restored everything to Job and gave him even more than he had before. Job's story is a testament to the faithfulness of God. No matter how dark your situation may seem, God is able to restore what the enemy has stolen. He is able to turn things around. He is able to take what was meant for your harm and use it for your good. And when the time comes, those who despised you, those who tried to tear you down, those who counted you out, they will see that the hand of God was upon your life all along. They will see that you did not get to where you are by your own strength, but by the grace and favor of Almighty God. And they will have no choice but to acknowledge that it was God who brought you through. But here's the truth. Your victory is not just for you. Your victory is a testimony to the greatness of God. It is a testimony to the world that God is still in the business of miracles, that He is still in the business of healing, that He is still in the business of redemption. And when others see what God has done for you, it will stir their faith and remind them that if God can do it for you, He can do it for them too. This is why you must never give up, even when it feels like the odds are against you. God's plan for your life is unstoppable. No enemy can thwart His purpose. No circumstance is too great for Him to overcome. He is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we could ask or think. So when you find yourself facing opposition, when you feel like you're being knocked down, when you feel like the world is against you, stand firm. Stand firm in the knowledge that you are a child of the King. Stand firm in the confidence that the God who has called you will see you through. Stand firm in the promise that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. The world may not understand your faith. They may not understand why you keep standing when everything around you is falling apart, but your faith is not for them to understand. It is for you to stand on, to hold on to, and to trust in the God who is able to make a way where there seems to be no way. Your faith will be your testimony. Your endurance will be your message. And one day, those who mocked you, those who despised you, those who thought you wouldn't make it, they will see that God's plan for your life was always greater than their rejection. And they will not be able to deny it. They will see the hand of God upon you. They will see His favor, His blessing, His grace in your life. And they will regret ever doubting you. They will regret ever turning their back on you, but even in that moment, you must show them the same love and grace that God has shown you. Because your victory is not for you alone, it is for His glory. It is to show the world that God is still in control. It is to declare to the enemy that no matter what you face, no matter what you go through, God is faithful and His plan for your life cannot be stopped.